The Wanderer Diaries. The Wanderer Diaries is an underground publication which claims to be the writings of an ancient immortal being from a race of supernatural entities known as the Nightbane, believed to have been published with frequent updates since the late 20th century. The first copies of the Wanderer Diaries were released into the internet in 1997. Hundreds of fragments, excerpts, and quotes from the diaries can be found on the net today, many of them written after 1997. Many people doubt that the more recent writings belong to the same person. Below are some excerpts from these books. First, June 11th, 2005. I look into a world of shadows tonight, not 5 years before the city would have been alive with light and noise. Technology had banished the fear of the night, the times when people would have huddled inside their houses and prayed to their gods to prevent the things that walked the night from coming into their fragile domain. Now the few street lights shine upon mostly empty streets. One or two people walk hurriedly, nervously looking around, hoping they will make it home. I mutter a silent prayer for their safety. A few neon signs still glitter, but almost everywhere they are out, reminders of a happier time. I will soon go out into the darkness. I have tasks to perform, and although I know monsters walk the streets tonight, I will not falter, for I myself am a monster. I am a Nightbane. What We Are. First published on May 8th, 2001. It's been a year and a day since Dark Day, the coming of the night into this world. Before then, our kind were few and far between, hiding in the shadows, or in plain sight, hiding our true form from the eyes of unsuspecting mortals. A neophyte could expect to be recognized and helped by an older Nightbane. Not any longer. So many of us have now appeared that there is little hope to educate them personally, not like the old days. For this reason, I am consigning these documents to the wondrous electronic network where information flows as freely as water. My younger friends will make copies everywhere, hoping that they will reach those in need. Do you know what you are? Allow me to tell you. The Becoming. You thought you were a normal person, just one more among the huddled masses of humankind, until the time of the becoming. One day your shape shifted and you became the stuff of nightmares and forgotten horrors. Maybe your form became animal-like or grotesquely deformed, or some twisted fantasy of flesh and scrap metal. That day your life changed forever. The becoming comes at different times for each Nightbane. For most, it occurs in the years spanning the time when you are no longer a child, yet not fully an adult. Sometimes it occurs at a time of need, an accident victim, pinned beneath a carriage or a car, a terrified child facing death at the hands of a stranger, or a soldier at war, seeing the enemy coming over the barbed wire. More often, it happens at night, sometimes during your sleep. Did Kafka know about us when he wrote Metamorphosis? I think he might have. Unlucky ones change in front of others and are branded monsters and freaks. In the old times, they were burned as witches or slain as demons. In the years before Dark Day, they were taken away by unsmiling men in dark suits and glasses, never to be seen again. Today they risk far worse. As to the rest, you all know the panic, the disbelief, the creeping insanity that comes when you see in the mirror the face of a stranger, an inhuman, misshapen stranger at that. Many a Nightbane have been overcome with madness, going off in a murderous rampage or taking his own life. The rest have managed to cope, and soon afterwards made an important discovery. The becoming is not absolute. One can shift back to one's original human shape. Most of us do so and try to forget what happened. But sooner or later, the Morphus will manifest again, in times of need or when the power of that form tempts us into using it. Some of us choose to embrace our monstrous form and become true monsters, preying on the helpless until we are destroyed. Shapes and masks. All Nightbane are two in one mind inhabiting two shapes. We call the human form the facade, the lie, the human mask we thought was real until our transformation. The other one, the alien form that you will come to accept as your true shape, is known as the Morphus. Over the centuries, I've come to feel that these names are themselves a lie, but they are convenient labels for something we cannot explain. Our facades retain most of the frailties of being human. They heal faster than a normal human and are highly resistant to normal maladies, like disease, poisons, and the elements. But by and large, they are not invulnerable to all normal dangers. The Morphus shape, however, is powerful beyond measure. We can rend flesh, stone, and metal with our hands, claws, and teeth. We heal from injury almost as fast as it is inflicted, and are impervious to most disease. In my time, I have fought on after having been shot multiple times, bayoneted by a dozen terrified men, even after losing a leg, sheared off by a cannonball. Except for the leg, all trifling matters quickly passed discomfort, and even the leg grew back not long afterwards. No two Morphus are exactly alike. We are a race of strangers, each a new surprise to us all. Many of us believe that the Morphus is a twisted reflection of our lusts and fears, of the good and evil in our soul. A pure soul, perhaps, would have a Morphus of perfect beauty. The rest of us wear our flaws and foibles in the way our flesh is shaped. Once the becoming occurs, neither the facade nor the Morphus ages as mortals do. At the very time of my becoming, a pharaoh ruled in Egypt, and my own people hunted wild boar with fire-hardened wood spears. Today I appear to be a man in my early 60s. We age only a year or two for the passage of every 100, maybe even less. But we are not immortal. We can die, by violence or accident. Although our facades are frail and would seem to be our most vulnerable aspect, we can be killed in Morphus form as well. If the cannonball that took my leg had hit me in the chest, I would not be telling you this story. Many a Nightbane has died a horrible death at the hands of the Roman Catholic Inquisition, for we healed as we burned, and took a long time to die. Since then, science has forged chains strong enough to bind us and weapons powerful enough to kill us. Magic has spells and rituals to imprison us, harm us, enslave us, and finally destroy us. If you die while wearing the facade, your body corrupts and decays like that of any mortal human. If killed as your Morphus, your shape dissolves in shadows like a mirage, leaving no blood, dust, or stain. So perhaps the Morphus is the illusion, and the facade real. Or maybe the Morphus, not being from this world, leaves as soon as our wills are no longer there to force it to remain. The lands of night. Over time, we discover another world, apart from and yet linked to this one. This land of eternal night lies separated from the earth by what we call the mirror wall, for mirrors are the gateway therein. All Nightbane can cross over by stepping through a mirror. At the other side lies a land where no sun or star ever shines. Some of us believe that this is our home, the place of our birth. But we are not wanted there. Beware of the lands of night, for the Nightlands are grotesque mockeries of the cities of earth. True monsters live therein, monsters and their victims. Unlike the Nightbane, They live for destruction and torture, and they hunt us down whenever they find us. They are hounds that wield they are hounds that wield cold dark blades, and hunters that sweep down on the unwary. They are the minions of the Baal, the lords of night, who rule the nightlands with an iron fist and hatred for our kind. Still, some of us find reason to go there. Ancient artifacts of great power can be found or stolen in the cities, as well as the answers to many dark questions. Between the cities lies the waste, a barren desert where some of us have tried to make a home. The waste is a dangerous place, full of strange monsters and beasts, some of whom belong to neither world. Yet it is easier to live in the waste than in the cities, although some Nightbane have made their home in both. But most prefer the empty plains of the waste to the horrors of the cities or the dangers of earth. The Lords of Night. Cruel and heartless are the rulers of the lands of night. They are the Baal Zeknet, the Lords of Night. I have heard stories about their origins, but they must wait for another time. Suffice to say that they bear humanity and our kind nothing but hatred and malice. They wish to destroy the works of man, to grind us into dust, enslave us, and then sacrifice us to increase their power. And I say us because in the eyes of Night Lords, we and normal humans are the same, enemies to be subdued, enslaved, and destroyed. The Baal have great powers over the forces of nature, over cold earth and metal, lightning and fire. They can create avatars, lesser versions of themselves, and send them out to do their bidding. They are ageless and perhaps immortal, but they fear the Nightbane, and from this year I draw the hope that we may have the power to destroy them. They are our eternal enemy. The servants of the lords. The Baal have minions, countless hordes of them. Lowest all are the shades of the living, called doppelgangers. Each the double of one man or woman in our world. Then come the hounds and the hunters, merciless, metal-clad warriors who slay on command or for pleasure. Over them ruled the Baal Zebul, the night princes, lesser Baal with the power of illusion, the tempters and deceivers of legend. Many strange creatures from alien worlds also serve the Night Lords, but the most dangerous are the Ashmedai, the crawling horrors, whose swiftly changing shapes conceal a monstrous form. And then are the Nemtar, small insects filled with malicious intelligence, and are able to create hollow men, which they ride in like grotesque mounts. All these, and many more, call the Night Lords their masters. Even humans are counted among their throngs, greedy and cruel, men and women who have pierced the mirror wall, separating the two worlds, and have made a pact with a Night Lord, exchanging their humanity for power. The worst are the night priests, fanatical, evil beings dangerous to all. The invasion. A year and a day ago, the skies of the world darkened unnaturally for an entire day and night. During that time, the earth became as unto the nightlands, and many a Nightbane endured the becoming. Dark Day was no accident, no freak of nature. It was an invasion, an attack led by the Night Lords. They have struggled to control of all the kingdoms of this world and make them their own. Now even the land of the free and the home of the brave is their playground. The chaos of today's world, the fear and repression and senseless violence, they are the result of this invasion. Humans must fight or become victims of merciless monsters, both human and inhuman. Nightbane must fight or hide or die at the hands of these true monsters. Perhaps humans and Nightbane can join forces and battle this common enemy. Perhaps one day we can even win. Perhaps. I look at the dark streets below and mutter a prayer of hope.